So I'm not going to lie to you, the initial plan here today was to unleash a video called How WWE Have Managed to Kill the Post-WrestleMania Curse. And then Raw happened. And for those who aren't aware precisely what this curse is, well, let me talk to you. Because over the years, the Raw after WrestleMania has played host to everything from epic comebacks, huge debuts, party popper matches, cash-ins, you name it. It's been exciting, it's been a party atmosphere, and it's what we know and love now. Well, I say it's what we know and love now, that's not actually happened for a couple of years, probably like what? Half a decade it feels like, and that has now led to a period that feels somewhat cursed, because not only the Raw after WrestleMania, but the months that follow Mania, WWE tends to see a bit of a dip, and the crowd interest just seems to drop because nobody really cares about what's happening. It doesn't feel like the people behind the curtain care, so the people who are watching on at home and in stadiums and arenas around the world, they also do not care. But this year felt different coming in. It felt like there was finally some hope to cling on to after a pretty solid to pretty good at times road to WrestleMania. What could Triple H cook up? What could he do to hook us for the next coming months? He did this. So I am Gareth from What Culture Wrestling, and this is how Triple H just made the post-WrestleMania curse even worse. So we need to address the elephant in the room straight away. WrestleMania ended on a bit of a sour note, didn't it? But it's fine because Triple H sat there in the press conference after the whole two-night event and said, this wasn't about finishing the story on the night. No, this was just a chapter in the story. The next chapter's coming up on Raw, so we got something special for you. And that special was, well, he kicked off Raw by walking down to the ring, and he had a bit of an announcement to make. And that was reported coming in, so a lot of people instantly thought, oh, is he going to release some new belts? Are they going to talk about the WWE UFC merger, the Endeavor stuff? What is he gonna tell us all right now in the middle of the ring? And what he did was pretty much stand there and go, yeah, WrestleMania was great, we did really good, love you all. Yeah, that thing happened where we got bought and merged together, but nothing's changing, you're stuck with us. And the way he phrased it is that the WWE that you know and love, the one that brought you all the way to WrestleMania this year, that was going nowhere and it was going to be much of the same. Well, he lied, didn't he? And to be honest, it felt very Vince McMahon-like to just stand there in the middle of the ring and say, this is us, then, now, forever, together, and what do you know? Turns out Vinnie Mac had his fingerprints all over this Raw. Because there's been a lot of reports, even just in the last few hours, that Vince McMahon was very much in gorilla. It was Triple H who started the night there, he was sat there, he was calling all the shots, and then Vince just came in and went, nope, I'm going to be the point man tonight, and we're going to change it all. They were changing stuff apparently throughout the show. So the show was live and Vince was still going, no, we're not going to do that, we're going to change this. And you know what? You felt it. And that was precisely the kind of WWE that we had just before, Triple H took the reins and things started feeling a bit more hopeful. And surprise, surprise, a lot of the talent backstage were not very happy about things changing all over the place, and apparently like triple threats being scrapped, and just one person apparently even said that the entire place felt like it had just been nuked. So Vince McMahon, his mustache came in, just dropped a bomb, and probably started chuckling and laughing at his big old Brock that he got out on the night. And I am jumping forward a little bit there because Cody did actually come out at the start of the night and challenge Roman Reigns to a World Championship rematch, and Roman, of course, wanted nothing to do with it. But it's fine because then Paul Heyman said, oh, you know what? We are going to have a big old match tonight, and you can have a tag match against Roman Reigns, but you have to choose a partner from WrestleMania who competed at WrestleMania, and that partner cannot compete for Roman Reigns' belt if they team with you. So Brock Lesnar popped up and everyone kind of went, yeah, that's cool. In concept, dream match, what could go wrong? Oh boy. Because again, it felt like WWE just going back to the Brock well, like if in doubt, bring Brock out and we'll just pop him in there in the main event kind of scene and just completely overshadow Cody, who'd had all this goodwill and everyone was so excited to see him and see him win the big one, but of course, he was there to be killed later on. And just in general, it's worth noting that this entire Bloodline saga now, for me at least, it feels a little tainted. Like backstage, I had a few segments, like the Usos got sent home, and Roman was plotting and thinking of ways he was going to beat Brock and Cody. But the entire thing, you'd lost a bit of faith after what happened at Mania. You're like, oh, I don't really want to hitch my wagon back to this thing again because I've been burned quite a bit. And speaking of getting burned quite a bit, we had Omos coming out and he completely blitzed and set fire to Elias to the sound of crickets. So much for that Vince McMahon experiment that will continue, you rest assured. But then there were a few positive flickers. I really want to stress this. There were a few moments throughout this show that made you think, you know what, it might not be doomed. We might have a chance here. And you had Rey Mysterio coming out and cutting a promo, and Austin Theory interrupted, and I thought, you know what? I'm in on this. Yeah, we could have some kind of Austin Theory attempt to be the next legend killer that leads to a Randy Orton return, then have that thing blow up. So maybe, yeah, theory Rey Mysterio, a little feud for a while. Let's see what goes on there. But that's not what we got, because we got Dominic suddenly coming into the match and interrupting and causing a distraction. We had a distraction, screwy finish for the end of that match, and it just felt like more of the same of where we'd just come from over the last couple of months. It was just rearing its head. The Bad Bunny stuff felt fine, I guess, because he's gonna bump like a madman. You've got him at Backlash and all that kind of thing, and having like a celebrity tag match again would be quite nice, I guess, but I don't know. But another thing that was a bit of a disappointment in this cursed Raw after WrestleMania is the fact that we didn't get any of those new belts. New tag belts, new world title belts, we didn't get anything. We just had everyone walking around in their two-belted goodness, and those tag team championships, oh, they need a change, damn it. But one thing that has definitely changed is KO and Sami Zayn are now your tag champs, and they're so over. Everyone was so happy to see them. They cut a promo in the ring, and it was just like, yes, the good times. Remember WrestleMania Night 1? Oh, those were the days. And then we had the Street Profits coming out to challenge the duo, and that felt relatively fresh, to be honest. And I was like, okay, this could be cool, this could be something fun. And it was. The match itself was a nice little showcase, bit of effervescent fun, but I don't know where it's going, and I cannot see a clear direction now for KO or Sami. Are they just going to challenge every tag team and just see what goes on there? That could be fine, but you get the feeling, because Vince does not like tag teams, and he's not going to put that much attention on them, they could become an afterthought very, very quickly, and that scares me. And then we had whatever the hell that was with Seth Rollins, when he'd won his match against Logan Paul. It was a big old thing, and everyone was singing along at WrestleMania moment. And how did he follow this up? No, he didn't go after a belt. He didn't go after a brand new big old challenger. He walked out into the middle of the ring and just did the conducting like the person did at WrestleMania. He was going, whoa, whoa. It was weird. Again, it felt like something where someone said, yeah, you're so over, buddy, just go out there and give them a moment that they're going to enjoy. And I bet some people did. I, for one, didn't, because I felt like we just did nothing with any of Seth Rollins' momentum, but if you enjoyed it, then good for you. And speaking of people that you feel like WWE have dropped the ball with in recent times, well, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley. Because not only was he completely overlooked when it came to the WrestleMania card itself, apart from just walking out onto the stage and lifting his trophy and going, God, I hate this. He was then backstage and got interrupted by Bronson Reed, who said, I kind of want a match with you, but like, not right now. And then Mustafa Positively turned up and got destroyed by Bobby Lashley. And we've never seen that before. Obviously, somebody, again, Trips and Vince McMahon clearly just like seeing Ali get battered. So he got battered again. We've just seen it a million times. It was boring, it was stale, it broke my heart. But again, just trying to remind you that there are some real sources of light to be found on this roster, even in some of the darkest times. You have Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley who came down to the ring, and they had like a stare down, a showdown. You were like, this is the future. Oh, that has WrestleMania main event written all over it. And what did they do? They stared at each other and said, not right now, but later. Because right now, what we've got, instead of some triple threat matches that were apparently the plan at one point before Vince ripped up every single like piece of paper that he could get his hands on, the plan was to have some triple threat matches to lead to like a number one contendership for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship. But we didn't have that. We just had a number one contenders tag match, and it was Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan teaming up against Damage Control, and you already know who lost. Because that experiment has just been a failure. It's been the biggest failure of Triple H's run so far in creative, and now you can like attach that to Vince's creative as well. It's just been a disaster from start to finish. And that was one of my big hopes heading into this post-WrestleMania run now, that we were finally going to do something with Damage Control and the people within that group. Maybe just break them up and just send them on their separate ways, or just give some real attention and thought to this women's tag division in general. But I don't feel like we're going to get that. Instead, I feel like you're just going to have Liv and Raquel being the challengers of the month, and then maybe they'll win. Maybe those belts will just become trinkets again, and then the weird Becky Lynch, Lita Trish stuff's probably going to evolve as well. And just going on to that, they were backstage and they had a bit of a chat, and they had that smarmy energy that they've had all the way through this road to WrestleMania. That's not their fault, it's just the material they've been given, and it didn't make them likable, and you kind of could already see the Trish Stratus potential heel turn against Lynch. Yeah, that could be exciting, but you just don't have faith. After the way that they've handled these women all the way into WrestleMania, you do not have faith in either Triple H or Vince McMahon, do you? And it's a damn shame, to be honest, because all of these women deserve so much better. They deserve more than the odd glance. I think you had Raquel Rodriguez glance at Rhea Ripley, and people thinking, oh my god, that's it, they're planting seeds. It was a nothing thing. They probably just looked at each other themselves and thought, you know what, if I look long enough, somebody in the back might notice and might make it a thing, but they probably won't, because they don't do that. They plant seeds. They planted Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley a couple of months back, and that never turned out to anything. And another big disappointment that we need to talk about is, well, the lack of surprises. Real surprises. Genuine, like, roof-shaking surprises on this post-WrestleMania Raw. Because we got one. Yeah, we got Matt Riddle. He came back. It was lovely. He was wearing nice tidy-whitey trunks and he was dancing around and he battered The Miz. But that was kind of a return that a lot of people saw coming and they knew it was going to happen sooner or later. And it was a bit like the Ezekiel one, like last year. Everyone was like, he's back. That's cool. Yeah, great. And then, my goodness, it was time for the main event. I've done this so many times in this video because I'm just tired. I'm tired, man. I think you're tired as well. We didn't deserve this, did we? Because they build this massive dream match of a tag team main event and you just knew. It stunk. It stunk of the Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston stuff from a couple of years ago when you thought, this is big. This is like end of a pay-per-view big. This isn't going to happen, is it? And what do you know? It did not. Because as they were announcing everybody who was in the match, Roman Reigns with his belts, he was shaking his belts, and Solo stood there like this, and Brock's dancing with his titties, and then Cody was getting announced, and then Brock killed him. He killed him because it was a Vince move. He literally, I can see it now. He sat there with his little mustache, and he's saying, yeah, Brock, go out there, kill him. They'll love it. They'll get all the heat. You look like a monster, and we'll kill their baby because you just want to upset people, don't you, Vince? And it worked. Everyone was devastated. Everyone was booing. Everyone was like, oh, why am I bothering? But is that really the feeling that you should have? Night 2, you got pretty much boos or shock, whatever it was. You had a really kind of subdued audience after what had happened. And then they just went and did the same thing on the Raw. They just disappointed everyone and made everyone think, oh, great, now what's going to happen? And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Roman's going to disappear for another couple of months, just like he did last year. And he's just going to go off. I mean, not going to have any world championships. They're going to be held to ransom. They're going to be held hostage. And we're going to have Brock and Cody, which is going to be a good match. It's going to be brutal. It's probably going to be great if Cody does win, but that isn't even a given either. Because with Vince, you could just turn up the day before and go, you know what, we'll have Brock beat him and then we'll just change the rules of what happened with Brock not being able to challenge Roman, and we'll have Brock, Roman again at SummerSlam. This time it's personal. And I want to stress again that the Brock beating down of Cody was violent. It was brutal. It did make me a little bit intrigued. I was like, you know what, I do kind of want to see Cody try and kill this monster and beat him off, but I don't think it's going to happen now, which is, it's my WWE brain. I've been infected. Oh, anything can happen, and that's not a good thing sometimes. Honestly, you walked into this weekend with all the confidence in the world that Cody was going to finish this story. He was going to walk out onto the Raw after WrestleMania with both those belts, maybe relinquish one, maybe debut a new design or something, and just give these opportunities to the people who've never really had those World Championship matches, allow himself to elevate all these new talents. And what did we get instead? We got Cody in a heap, lying over some steel steps, Brock dancing with his boobies, Roman walking out of the arena, no doubt for the next couple of months now again. Oh, it's just a letdown, isn't it? Did we get a new tournament to announce the next world champion or some new contenders? No, we got Brock killing Cody and Seth Rollins waving his arms around with some bug glasses on because you're all silly idiots. Zero mega returns, zero NXT call-ups, and that's probably for the best if Vince is now back in charge. Yes, the odd flicker of fun in a nice little match here or there, the odd angle that makes you go, yeah, that could be something, but we deserve more than that. We don't deserve, yeah, it could be something. We deserve, oh my goodness, I can't take my eyes off this television for the next couple of weeks, and we've just not got that, have we? Instead, it looks as though Vince is well and truly back behind the creative wheel, and this curse is not getting broken anytime soon. What a life, eh? And more fool us for thinking it ever could. Well, that's been your very much hopeful how Triple H just made the post-WrestleMania curse even worse video. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for watching this particularly joyful video today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to all things What Culture, and comment right down below what you think of that Raw after WrestleMania and the joy that is about to head our way over the next couple of months. Yeah. Follow myself on Twitter at gmorgan04. Follow everyone here at What Culture at WhatCultureWWE. And I just want to end things by saying, you know what? It's not been all terrible. We've had some great content. Just look on this channel. We've had some incredible interviews, great moments. Some of those ups and downs have been insane. There's fun. There's still fun to be found in your wrestling, but there's no escaping the fact that this was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it? So fingers crossed it can't get any worse, because it can't get any worse, can it?